Hey, Editor Knickknack here, Model 6. I want to keep this a bit brief. We may have screwed up in this recording a bit, and I blame Seki. The recording came out a little bit quietly. In fact, it seems like it's not only coming out quietly for us, you're also hearing a rather annoying humming in the background. There's a reason for this. Because my computer, my dumbass computer, decided to record not from our typical mic, the Hyper Quadcast X. Love this mic. No. It decided to set my default mic to, it's a much higher quality mic. A fucking PS5 controller that I have plugged in for streams. So I'm really sorry for the sound quality on this episode. Please try to bear with it. If you don't, fair enough. If you want to know the next anime is Ouran High School Host Club. I am so sorry about how this turned out. Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Anime Club. I'm Knickknack. With me is the great Lord Horn.
Hello everybody!
Realm Shifter.
The juice is loose.
And Seki.
That was disgusting. Thank you, Realm. I've always wanted to hear that noise.
Yes. So this week we watched ACCA 13. Territorial Inspection Department?
Territory Inspection Department.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Or Jusanku Kansatsuka.
Thank you, Seki.
Much easier to say in Japanese, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, actually.
Just wondering, do we need crank? That's a bit low.
Oh shit, that's so fucking quiet.
Yeah, let's pause it and listen.
Fucking Audacity.
It's fine.
Start
It's
from the
still
top?
there.
Yeah.
No, it's still there. You just have to boost the sound.
Ah, okay.
It's not the end of the world. You just cut that section and raise the decibel.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Remind me whose pick was ACCA 13 this week?
It was Vorn's pick, but he pulled it out of his hat because he thought that for his picks he had to pick from his own.
Yeah.
But like
That was proof because
we forgot to clarify. That's on us. It's fine.
That's also, but also literally, I proved it because I pulled, or I picked rather. What was it? A sign of affection, and that was not in my hat. But it was my pick. But it was a pick.
Yeah.
Seki gave a murderous glare to Realm there.
It wasn't so much a murderous glare. I was just like, cool. You just re-explained what I explained.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm
Obviously, I was not clear enough.
I'm just trying to get the point across, you know?
So does anyone want to start us off here on... Or Seki, you want to start us off with the production here?
Yeah, respectfully, what the fuck, Studio Madhouse? You could have done better. Like, as someone who, knows Studio Madhouse, we all know Studio Madhouse.
I mean, I didn't know that this was Studio Madhouse specifically, but yet now that I know that it's them, I'm like, what the fuck?
We know Studio Madhouse. Studio Madhouse has done, some very, very famous animes. And this just feels like I've been duped.
Just wondering, were they doing anything else during this time as well?
When did this come out?
I don't remember.
Alright, hang on. This came out...
I think 2021?
2017.
Ooh.
Okay.
So first of all, this came out in 2017. At the time, in 2017, let me get to the 2010s, because they have theirs sorted by decade, because they've done so fucking much.
Yeah.
Alright, 2010s. Around 2017... Is that movies? Oh, they did Tokyo Godfathers! Okay, around 2017, they also were doing Prince of Stride, Alderamin in the Sky, and Overlord 2. And Overlord 3, if we count a 2-year period.
Right.
Because they're the Overlord studio, and the One Punch Man studio, and the Death Parade studio, and Parasite the Maxim, and My Love Story, and Ace of Diamond.
I just feel like the animation this time felt stilted. It wasn't explicitly bad, but it felt like they took a lot of shortcuts and cut some corners here to make it quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You can't even. It's not even co-animated with another studio. This is straight up. This was Madhouse in 2017.
I think
did
that's probably kind of like the deal with Madhouse is that since they are such a big studio, they hire a lot of people, and so that's probably why sometimes you get such varying degrees of production quality.
Like this is like the rookie team.
But I don't think that Studio Madhouse is hiring and firing people every 2 months.
I was trying to hold it out, but I can't.
In such large amounts.
Run into the bathroom.
Run, realm.
So I mean, they're also doing Frerin right now. You know, they did Bibliophile Princess, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999.
Probably just wasn't their A-team project. This is probably like side project they had people just kind of working on the side. Yeah, that's a lot of words there.
Whatever it is, this was not their most stunning work. Not at all. Maybe it's because they went through so many producers.
Oh, how many?
10.
Not
10
13.
Producers. I don't know. They don't have episodes listed next to them, but there are in fact 10 different producers listed on here, but only one director, and only one writer, and only one music person. So like, there's that at least. Anyways, but yeah, this came out in 2017. The manga's not that much older. It's 2013. So, like, it's not like a really old manga either. Yeah. And it was seinen. It ran in monthly big gangan. So it's a drama seinen. That's its genre and its demographic.
Yeah.
There was the OVAs. We did not watch the OVAs. Or the OVA. So, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It wasn't good. Like, here's the thing. You might say that it wasn't bad, per se, but when I put it up against every single thing that came out the year before and the same year that I know, this is actively bad. And, like, if they have a B team, I would expect to see proof that they have a B team in some of, like, the previous year's animation projects. But I know most of the things they put out the year before and the year after, and there aren't any fails like this. I just don't think that they wanted to put money and effort into this.
Maybe. I mean, that's just, you take on a lot of projects. Some are just not given the attention of others.
Yeah. But they didn't even have a lot of projects that year. They had, like, 3 series that came out that one year. Like, I just think that this is a case of them just not doing as good as they could. Maybe it's because they went through so many directors. Maybe they went through maybe they went through too many producers for it to be, like, you know, cohesive. And that's why it feels stilted, but I don't know. I'm not impressed. I'm also... The music's okay.
I like the OP.
Yeah, it's catchy.
Actually, the OP... I actually really like the OP's song and the anime. That's the best animation of the show right there is in the OP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Reminded me a lot of, like, Persona openings, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And, like, here's the thing. Both Nick Neck and I, we love our political dramas. You know what I mean? We love watching, like, down and dirty, nitty-gritty, like, let's watch people backstab one another politely while still smiling at one another in the hallways, you know? But there was no spark in this. There was no fire. There was no character that I was like, I am gonna back this character until the day I die.
That's where I was like... Yeah. I feel like that's where I fell off was the characters. It felt like the characters just were not given that much attention till maybe kind of near the end.
You good?
My dad's asking my family to talk them out of getting a female pug currently in foster care at our local animal shelter.
Aww. I'm gonna be honest, I would say do it.
Also, doesn't that mean puppies, possibly?
Well, no, not necessarily. No, because I highly doubt that Nick Nack's family is gonna breed their dogs. No. Also, Bella's female.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So a female... Yeah, that would not be a problem.
And most animals coming out of an animal shelter are going to be spayed and neutered.
Yup. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like they didn't... First of all, there was no actual focus on characters enough for us to actually get invested, right? Like, it genuinely felt like I was watching, like, the most boring political drama I've ever watched. Like this was no Game of Thrones House of the Dragon.
Like, someone sat there and thought the most... Like, the spot I want to write about for the Revolution is from the perspective of a damn auditor.
Which, like, could have been interesting, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, not to put too fine a point on it, you can make anything interesting, but, like, where was the betrayal, the death,
That's the big thing, is there was just no rising actions at all. Like, not until like towards the very end with the kidnapping of what's her name.
But even that.
And it's like, and that's happens and is resolved within the same episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like the setting is supposed to be like, this is a country that's supposedly is on like the brink of revolution or something like that.
And okay, so you've got like
Yeah.
a drama seinen, right? All right. So you didn't make the politics very interesting. Okay. What if what was interesting was like the comedic interactions between the characters? What if it's not the situation? What if it's the characters, right? No.
I don't think we saw most of the characters that many times.
Yeah.
No. It was like, this is not The Office and this is not Game of Thrones, and it needed to be one or the other.
Yeah.
Or it could have been like a travel documentary where like you then like saw the exciting cultures of all the 13 areas.
Exactly.
So,
So I just felt like every episode was it Gene? Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Goes somewhere, talks, leaves.
Yeah.
And that was like most of the episodes. It didn't feel like our recurring cast got fleshed out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you did get like some interspersing depending on the episode with like his sister sometimes as like a
Like,
bit
that's
of
our
a
most recurring character there, is the sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, we don't really get a whole lot of the other cast. Like, by the end, we kind of, like, understand, like, who everyone is supposed to be, but that doesn't make it, like, all that interesting, in my opinion.
Eventually they try to make it more interesting by, like, revealing that the main character and his sister are royalty or royal descendant. I'm just like... When I heard that, I was like, could this get interesting, or is this just going to be like Diet Code Geass, the setup?
It turned into Diet Code Geass in the end.
It was like the story wasn't Diet Code Geass, but...
The payoff ended up tasting like a diet soda.
Oh god, the payoff.
Yeah.
Last
They
time I
tried.
saw a coup die this anticlimactically, I was watching Carnival Phantasm.
How dare you? I mean, like, here's the thing. I can see in all the hallmarks of the series, it seems like they tried, but when I say they tried, it seems like at least one person tried, but one person was not enough to make this entire thing succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, someone really wanted this. It just wasn't the person who made it.
I think when they pull the rug out of the coup, like in the climax, it's just like, oh yeah, this isn't actually happening. Only this one faction wanted it, and we're just using this as a demonstration. I think I audibly just screamed at my TV, "Fuck you!"
It just, oh my god, it just, I don't know, the setup, I think because 86 was so influential on, like, animes and mangas that I like and watch, right? Like 86, Area 88, which I actually liked,
Yeah.
etc. I feel like I compare everything to either 86 or Area 88. And this pales in comparison to both of them, right? Even though the setup is vaguely similar to both, right? Like there are elements that are similar, and there are things I should like, but it's not as like funny or fun or like technically interesting as Area 88, and it's not as hard hitting and emotional as 86.
I feel like I also just, for a series about a coup, I don't feel like I got any, and this is like the political science major here, I don't feel like I got any themes of government coming out, like no themes or statements on government. Like the themes that, like, the only thing I could identify was, man, the civil service is important, ain't it?
Yo, I need to be so for real with you now. Every single time you've said coup for the last 3 minutes, I thought you meant coup Cullen. And I was like, I don't remember there being a Lancer, but maybe I just missed it. And then I finally recognized you meant coup, like C-U-O-P, coup.
I'm sure
Coup
the
d'etat.
I did make that joke earlier, so I assume that didn't help.
No, it did not. I genuinely thought there was just a Lancer I missed for a hot minute.
Yeah, like, this series, it was just like it seems like interesting, but it doesn't get past the kind of surface level of a lot of things. It really doesn't take its time and flesh itself out, unfortunately. Yeah?
What's the saying? A mile wide and an inch deep
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
a mile deep and an inch wide. This feels like the former, not the latter.
Yeah.
Yep.
86 was the latter, right? Like an inch wide, a mile deep. this is a mile wide because there's some really interesting world building here, right? Like this focus on the civil service and the different territories and how information flows. But apparently we don't get to really know about any of that properly.
I do wonder, how many volumes was this?
6 total. And
So
it's
they-
a finished series.
So they put 6 volumes in this.
Did this adapt the
Ooh.
full
I
series?
don't think this adapted the full series.
I felt like it did, didn't I?
Well, it couldn't have. Because the anime aired in January of 2017.
Uh-huh.
The run didn't end until October of 2017. It
Ugh.
literally couldn't have adapted all 6 volumes of content because the manga had not finished running when this came out.
Okay, yeah, then this is just... Ooh, this just
By
even worse.
10 months.
Ooh.
So then I almost wonder if, like, the manga maybe ended differently. I'm honestly not too sure.
Mm.
Maybe the manga talked about what happened after the coup.
Yeah?
Well, I know. Well, I know that there was an OVA. I did end up watching it.
And to be fair, the OVA did come out in 2020, so if this was adapting everything up until 2017, and then the OVA just adapted everything else, it's possible this might be the whole 6 volumes. And to be fair, 6 volumes is not a lot. That means you're spending like 2 anime episodes on each volume, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's not a lot of volumes. Most animes adapt much more content in much shorter a time. So it could have been that it felt boring to us because it was just too much anime for too little story.
I'm
Right,
going to
yeah.
disagree here. Oh, no, these are manga. I mean, these are manga. I was
These
like,
are
yeah.
manga.
Light
yeah.
novels are different. I was like,
No,
I'll say...
this was not a light
I
novel.
was like,
This was a
86, the
manga.
first part was in just a single light novel, and they made that work. But
Yeah.
no, this is a manga. It's very
Yeah, this
different.
is a
I
full-on
think-
like panel. Like I think this.
The worst part is there's a sequel manga. It's 2 volumes long.
What the hell?
That's
Ooh.
it. Came out in 2017. So the year after this aired, the sequel came out. It was only 2 volumes.
So I guess the problem then here is, yeah, there probably is like just too much anime, and so they probably end up putting filler within the middle of episodes that didn't have anything there previously.
Mm.
So there might actually be padded runtime here in the episodes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if there's any information on how much it covered, but I don't know. It's not that many volumes, which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
Like you can read this manga in like an afternoon if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I may have zoned out a few times watching this. Outside of not liking the prince, was there any other reason the people were trying to coup?
Like supposedly something over like the getting a share of like the tobacco or whatever, like in the very first episode.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like some trade stuff, I think.
Like mostly
Yeah.
some trade.
I think
and,
it was
yeah.
largely like any other reasoning was kind of like very much not explored and just sort of like dropped here and there, like, oh, well, the production of this has ranked up, like we shouldn't have to be like restricted on it anymore.
I think that's probably my issue. Like the biggest issue I have here is the politics just don't feel fitting to the world.
Well, because believe me, if we had a coup every time we didn't like a king, Britain would currently be a democracy.
Yeah.
Or if
Yeah.
we didn't care for every economic decision that was ever made.
Right.
I genuinely, I think the politics being used here are very medieval style. Like, we don't like the current person inheriting the throne. That is very medieval politics style for fiction. I don't think this works in this world though, because we're dealing with a world outside of that royal family that's at least on the surface very modern.
Also, that's such a funny thing that there's this, because the only people who rebel because they don't like a king are nobles,
Yeah.
right? Peasants don't do that. Peasants rebel when their rights are being oppressed, when they can't make money, when they physically can't feed their families, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want a rebellion driven by the people, it needs to be economic and social, not personal. If you want a rebellion driven by the upper classes, then it's going to be personal, right? And I was saying, like, if you want this coup, like, driven by, like, these people, right, who are disgruntled and stuff, then they shouldn't be disgruntled because they don't like the prince. They should be disgruntled because of, like, economics and trade policies that disadvantage them continuously. You know what I mean? God, I would have fucking loved to see an entire show describe, like showing us all of the ways in which this group of people had been disenfranchised through social and economic policies enacted by this prince through this system of people with our hero Jean, like going to these different places and learning about this like disgruntlement from these people, right? That would have been way more
Yeah.
interesting.
like arguably the most interesting like episode out of this entire series was when he went to that one district. I can't remember what the fucking name of it was, but it was like one of the hardest places for him to get in because he needed the most like approvals to get into it. And when you got to look at the city, it looked still like it was like Victoria era, like London almost, and they had the most restrictions on like trade. Suitsu, that's right. Yeah. So like that was like the most interesting because you actually like when they were talking about a coup there, you actually got to see it was about their own district and how restrictive it was to them. That actually felt like it made sense. Like yes, like it makes sense that they would want to rebel because they can't go anywhere. They're stuck in their own city, and it seems like it's a very I'm not sure if it's like an oligarchy or like maybe a
oligarchy is run by wealthy peoples.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
it's probably more like run by like nobles over there.
That's an aristocracy.
Yeah, so an aristocracy. Okay.
Yeah. Monarchy run by the king. Monarchies have aristocracy. Oligarchies are run by oligarchs, and then there's tyranny and the other stuff.
Yeah.
I also have to say, like, either the coup matters and we should care about the politics of this world, or it doesn't. And the way this ends, it's like, oh yeah, you just shut down what's either a coup that didn't matter this entire series because it was just a bunch of pissy nobles, or it was a coup that mattered and we just got to watch the bureaucracy shut down a grassroots uprising.
Yeah.
And I don't think it quite identified which one it wanted to be in the series very well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't tickle my fancy.
Sorry, I know I said I didn't have a lot to say on this series, but like the political science major in my brain is like going.
No, the me who because of fate has been increasingly diving more and more into like medieval European politics and stuff like that also is very like what the fuck, like what. Like you go in, you mention all these different territories and like what their economic production is like and what their social structures are like, and then you don't incorporate that into like interesting analyses of like the benefits and detractions of them being a part of this system and whether or not the people are happy being part of this system. Like Lord knows I would have been very interested in something like that. One of my favorite things about, so you know how I read all of those like reincarnated manhwa and stuff, or like the, I realized my fiance was cheating on me, and I'm daughter of the Duchess or whatever. One of the fun things about a lot of those involve the villain, like our main character, going out and being like, I need to become independently wealthy or help the people, and then talking about economic and social stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the character themselves, they might just be like a normal run-of-the-mill villainess, but oh wow, the way that she's revolutionizing the agricultural system in her province is really fascinating.
Yeah. And like usually then they'll do like rebellions kind of that way, because like the higher structure will not like that, and then like people then rebel because like they want that. So yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
This did not tickle my fancy. If you want to watch something that would tickle my fancy, may I recommend 86?
Actually, no. I just thought this. This is kind of like just like a tiny little like sip of Hunger Games, kind of.
I call it the slightly peckish games.
Yeah. Or you remember that one villainess story we read where she ends up like going to her family's fief? She's like exiled to her family's fief.
Yes.
Yeah. Accomplishments of a Duke's Daughter.
That one.
Yeah, Accomplishments of Duke's Daughter. Go read that.
Ooh, yeah.
Instead of this. Much more interesting.
Go read The Remarried Empress.
Actually, yes. Go read The Remarried Empress. I've got no waifu for this. That's why I kind of skipped Waifu Wars. But if y'all have it, I'll chant it.
Not really.
No.
Like the OP.
No. Yeah. That OP is so catchy, and I remember.
It like gives you bad expectations for the series.
True. The Duchess's 50 tea recipes.
Oh yeah.
Right. That would have been great in this place.
Don't like you. If you watch it, did you get Persona vibes from the OP as well? Like the Persona openings.
Tiny bit, just like a tiny hint.
And I was like, wait, these characters, they show up for like 15 seconds total in this entire series.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I personally think I've exhausted everything I need to say without repetition. I had to ask Realm that there.
Yeah.
I will say this fit exactly what I thought you guys would be like for this show. It's not absolute dog shit, but it's also not great. This is
Like it's a show that like I see it has potential, but also like the source material it's working with is incredibly short. So I don't even know if the source material gets any better or is any better in any capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe not.
Yeah. So I don't know. This was like the most like lukewarm I've ever felt on like a show before.
Yeah.
Well, like I
Oh,
said,
yeah,
I've given my recommendations.
I think I told Seki I owed her an apology.
Oh yeah, please.
This, in retrospect, I was way more bored watching this than I was Uramichi Onisan.
Yeah.
Retrospective wins.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need just something easy.
See,
for
because at least
myself.
Uramichi Onisan tried and mostly succeeded at recreating an office vibe.
I could watch
Yes.
that like weekly or
Yeah.
even maybe daily between stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be better. I feel better if I just never watch this again. To be honest.
Like
Yeah.
Uramichi Onisan, at the very least, I got some laughs out of it for like 9, maybe 10 episodes. But this, I maybe got like a chuckle once every like 3rd episode. That's just like, and I'm just like,
Right. Well, do we have any more recommendations?
Not really.
Not for me.
no,
Yeah.
not for me either, honestly.
Then.
No. Kingdom, the anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then, if y'all will give me a drum roll, I will. Okay. Alright.
Will be a hat pull.
It is. Yes!
Oh boy.
Oh
I'm
my.
so happy!
You get Fairy Tale.
No, we did not get Fairy Tale. You will be seeing Fairy Tale this season, though.
Yeah.
We got Ouran High School Host Club!
Oh yeah!
How
I'm
many?
so... It's 12 episodes.
This isn't the kind of series where she's like, I need to get 20 episodes.
No, it's 12 episodes. No, oh wait, no,
I
it
thought
is
that- I thought-
24.
yeah, I thought
it is
this one was
24.
24.
We're gonna do half. We'll just
Yeah.
do half the series. It's done at like one season because it's old. Anyway,
Yeah.
Ouran High School Host Club. We're gonna do the first half because there is no arc. There's nothing weird that I'm splitting in the middle of. We're just gonna do the first half.
Yeah.
We've all seen a bit of it. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to this. I enjoyed
Yeah.
the little bit I watched. It not the highest thing, but honestly, after this, I could do with not trying to be the highest value entertainment for a while.
Yeah. So we will be back with Ouran High School Host Club. Ouran Koko Seikatsu.
Wait,
Kiss,
Let's
kiss,
have a
fall.
thought.
In love. Do-do-do-do,
Oh, my.
do-do-do-do. Hey, hey, maybe you're my love.
I'll just let you end that there. I don't need my comment to be on camera.